Bitcoin, big picture updates. We're going to start the 5-day look at the Gaussian channel. Had a couple of requests on the Gaussian channel, so that's what we're going to start with. Then we're going to zoom out to the weekly and then also the monthly, the biggest picture, and look at the proof in the charts. That's what we try to focus on. Less of the hearsay, less of the FOMO, less of everything else, but looking at the charts, interpreting the facts, and relaying them to you. That's what we do. That's what I created this channel, to fight the FOMO, fight all, the perma bears and the perma bulls, and give you both sides of the coin. So if you like the video, give us a thumbs up. If you want more content, follow us on Twitter, Telegram, and Patreon. Happy to help there. All right, so let's get going. 5-day Gaussian channel. Historically speaking, once your price action's on top of the 5-day and it is green, it's go time, right? It doesn't mean the lows are actually in. It doesn't mean it's perma bull up. But, for the long haul, that's when you want to buy. That's your last kind of boarding call. As you could see, time and time again, all of Bitcoin's history, that's how it goes. Even in the pandemic drop, right? We went from red to green, right? Move up. And, minus a black swan event, I believe that this would have been copy and pasted over here, and we were off to go. But even during the pandemic drop, red, price action on top, green, let's go, right? So now where are we? Well, we have one check mark. You have to wait for two. The second check mark is the channel to turn green. So one, where prices are above. Could it go back in? Of course, right? And that's not a big deal. What is a big deal is we have to have it to turn green and your price action to come on top. So if prices come back in here, our channel's not going to turn green, right? Prices will have to be up for the channel to move up, right? And that's what causes it to turn green. Now, how soon could we turn green? I would say best case, right? Even if we hold up here, right? A hold up between 25 to 30K for the next several weeks, I would think it's still likely going to take a good part of the next several months. Probably May, June. That's probably the earliest, right? You can kind of see the trajectory of that, right? Now, if we come back in, it's going to take even longer. So if we come back into the channel and we're kind of ho-humming around 20 to 25K for the next several weeks to months, it could likely be towards the end of summer, even going into fall time before we turn green. But you want to wait on the 5-day as the least amount of fake outs, the most evidence of that. Price is above, which we have already, but we don't have a green channel. So we're not overly bullish just yet, right? I do think the bull market, bear market has shifted and changed. I think the bear market is over. Not my opinion. That's based on the facts, based on TA. That's why you look at TA, right? You've put in a higher high and a higher low. By definition, that trend is broken. That's the only function of TA, right? To know when trends are ending and new ones are beginning. And now we have it. Okay, so we'll look at that on the weekly and monthly as well, and highlight some more info. And at the end, we'll look at historical moves and why one of the rarest things have just happened, and why that would be more evidence for the bullish case. Okay, so that is the 5-day Gaussian channel. If you want to look at that, right, go look in history. You can even put on the BLX and go all the way back, and it's happens time and time again for the Gaussian. So let's zoom out to the weekly. We could take that off, get rid of, clean it up here. So the weekly chart. Whoops. The weekly chart. What are we looking at? One of my comments on my last video that I made yesterday on Bitcoin. Great comment. One of my longtime subscribers. He said, "What happened last March?" Right? And if you're watching, kudos to you for asking this question. That's a good question. Last March, it looks like similar to where we are now, and I would agree. Right? We had this downtrend, right? And we came up and we made a new higher high, and then we had kind of this fake out down. So why aren't we going to do that now? What's different? Well, it does look very similar, right? This move up, sideways move. Here's our high. We took out, made a new high. Why aren't we just going to do this again? Well, anything's possible, and nothing is certain in crypto but uncertainty. But let's zoom out to the bigger picture, the monthly chart. And now let's see if they look the same to you, right? The bigger the picture you can make it, the more concrete your evidence is. So nothing is, finite ironclad titanium. But concrete, that's pretty solid, right? So looking at the monthly, the downtrend, the initial move, did we make a higher high? No, right? We topped out right here, kind of double top on, even with the wicks. The closing candles didn't even come close to making a new high, right? And so that was just our initial. Now hindsight's always 2020. You can obviously tell now, but looking at then, it was just our initial bounce off of the 21-month. And then, our first bounce, right? It's a dead cat bounce and then send it lower. Now we've risen from a prolonged cycle down, a bottoming event, right? Nice move off the bottoms, 40% candle, right? Closing above the EMA8. That's a big step. Closing above the EMA8. You didn't do that at all, right? Including this candle. We closed right on it as resistance. Closed above the EMA8. Indecision candle on the monthly in February. By definition, that is an indecision candle. What does that mean? You don't know which way you're going yet. You have to wait for the next month. And we got a fake out down to 19.5 and a thrust candle up, right? This lower tail means buyers are coming back in with authority. And now we're sending it lower, confirming our previous candle, right? Uptrend, indecisive continuation of that trend. And now we are above the 21-month EMA. This is huge, right? Historically speaking, if you're doing these kind of moves, it is excellent news for the bulls and not so great news for the bears. Usually in bull markets and bear markets, the masses are not aware of the trend shift until much later into the market cycle. Not many people knew we were in a bear market here. Very few still here. And really only this candle, people started panicking around 30K, right? That's the masses. And don't feel ashamed if you're part of that, right? That's like 90% plus of people, get into these kind of traps. And it's difficult to see that. So here is your early warning sign. Do I have a lot of experience? Am I a kid off the street? No, I'm a CMT level 1, so I've got a little bit more authority in reading charts than a lot of people, right? That is a very difficult test to pass, and I invite you, any CMT that is certified in the full course, I would say is saying the same things, and at least in the back of their minds, right? It's the people that have the least amount of education that are still calling for doom and gloom. If it's in the news, right, it's priced in the charts, right? If you know about it, the charts know about it. All right. So I would encourage you to follow more on the charts, less in the chats, less news, more on the price, right? Focus on the price. The price is showing you what is going on, and people are trying to turn a blind eye, especially the perma bears. I would encourage you to, if they're not at least looking and having an open mind about a possible bull market at this point, then you got to get rid of them, right? Could we go down in price? Of course, but I think the closing candles are done on the monthly and the weekly, closing below 18K. If we go back down to those levels, if we close a price on the weekly, the daily, anything under 18K again, a new bear market is starting. This is broken now. The old bear market is gone by definition of TA, right? That's the only reason you're doing TA is to know when trends are broken, right? That one's done. If we start a new one, that is probably going to be the worst thing for crypto in history, including the pandemic, including every bear market, because that would be a back-to-back bear market. There's a no bear market coming if we're back under 18K. Plain and simple, right? Exit, right? If we're back under 18K, we're probably going to be down there for another year. I mean, as crazy as that sounds, and I don't think that's the odds, but I like to tell you both the extremes to the downside and the upside, so you're ready for anything, right? If we're under 18K, I'm telling you right now, we're in a heap of shit, okay, to put it bluntly. However, I do think that the odds are to the upside. This is a great looking candle right here. Lower long wick tail on the monthly, right? This is not a 4-second chart, right? We're looking at huge breakout candles here. Okay, so good stuff to come there. Now, let's go back to the weekly chart. Most people are more familiar with weekly charts, right? We broke our double top, our resistance right here, right? So that's where we should hold. If we come back down, we should, in theory, hold right there. Now, if we don't, I would expect probably a wick. We could even go down to like 20K. We're looking at the 21-week EMA. That's where we'd like to definitely hold. But wicks can go anywhere. Don't pay attention to the wicks on the weekly, right? We could wick down to any K, right? 18, 17, 16, whatever. Like a pandemic kind of wick, right? I mean, something real stupid, something like that. But look at this long lower tail, right? And close back above the 200 EMA, right? So closing prices, I feel like, are done below 18K. Could we wick below 18 or 20 or whatever? Yes, I'm not arguing that at all. But closing prices on a weekly and monthly chart will very likely not ever close, I would say ever, should not close below 18K. If they do, much more bad stuff. Year plus of bear cycle. A new bear cycle would be starting at that point, in my opinion. Okay, so having said that, let's focus on more of the good stuff, right? If we come back down, we want to be holding this area, right? To remain the most bullish, I should say. We could still be bullish and go lower than this, but ideally, if you want to see the bull market run in a powerful fashion, we've got to hold somewhere between, you know, the 200 week around 25K and these lows, right? There, where these candles close. So this one closed at 24.3. This one closed at, you guessed it, around 24.3. So 24.3 is kind of the cutoff for closing prices on the weekly to remain the most bullish. Now, absolutely, we would want to start to at least, you know, come back into the market here. Even buying some altcoins a little bit more heavily right in here on this retest, as long as this holds. Now, if we get a crazy looking wick candle and it goes like this and scares the shit out of everyone, you know, don't panic. We'll wait for the close. But if we close back up here, that is a great opportunity for you to, you know, get in and, you know, ride the next move up, right? We're just kind of marching up the stairs here. The odds are we're going to go sideways for the next several weeks, maybe even longer than that. After these big moves, and by sideways, I don't mean sideways at 28K for the next, you know, not flatlined, sideways. This is sideways, right? These consolidation boxes. Consolidation box could be from 30 to 25K for the next several weeks to months. It could be from, you know, 32K to 26K, right? Something in this box, likely the scenario because of these big candles, right? They historically, you can go back and look at any major moves, you know, besides the major breakout moments of bear markets or bull markets. After big candles, you're going to likely consolidate for a little bit, digest the move, and then make your next move. And in this situation, I would guess, you know, based on the evidence, it's got to be up. Now, I do not think we're in up-only mode yet, right? We're not in the happy times of the bull cycle, right? Most people don't even believe we're have any remote chance of a bull cycle yet. But, you know, here we are. So I think the odds are, you know, just more of the same, continuation, slightly up, right? Given in that box, and then just grind on up, right? I think we're in for a long haul for 2023. I think we could easily be around, you know, 10% of these prices come the end of this year. I do not think any way, shape, or form new highs are coming this year. I would be very shocked if we're even above, you know, 35K this year. I think it's going to take some huge efforts, right? And a lot of ups and downs, right? All the sideways chop, back to 20K, up to 35K, right? It'll never make it easy for you, right? But realizing what is unfolding right before your eyes and the evidence in the charts should excite you a little bit, but not FOMO. No FOMO, right? Certainly not after like back-to-back monthly like 40% candles, right? We're trying to hold our head, wait for a retest, and then, you know, slowly come back into the markets. DCA, that's kind of the word on the street. Not financial advice, but, you know, just kind of what I'm doing, what I'm telling my group in Telegram that they should be doing. So if you want more help, you know, doing that, just join us there. Try it out. I promise I'm in there every day. I do lots of extra videos in there every day. So try it out if you haven't already. Now let's get to what is happening here. Historically, looking at this chart, let's look at the facts on the BLX. When we are crossing, you know, these EMA 8s, right? Say this EMA 8 on the weekly, when we're crossing from the bottom and you start moving up in these diagonal forms, right? This is what you want to be paying attention to. This is a trend shift, right? So early on, it's hard to see, but historically, that is exactly what you want to be paying attention to. Those are the sign of market reversal points, okay? So watch for that in the future. Look at how we're crossing here, right? Go back and look at any other in a moment of time. Look at back here, even last year, right? The EMA 8 never crossed through anything. Even though prices got, you know, a bullish little fake out up, right? This is something different, right? This is something different by definition. I mean, look at this move, right? These right angles, these 90-degree angles. That is a momentum shift abruptly, right? That's by definition of those EMA 8s. So pay attention to those as best you can moving forward. I mean, go back in history and look at all of these. You can see, you can tell something's shifting when you get these 90-degree angles, right? See this, right? See this move down and then just these L shapes, even in the pandemic, right? Look at these L shapes on these V-shaped recoveries, right? Not saying that this is a V-shaped recovery, but looking at the patterns, right? This is what you need to be paying attention to on the macro scale, on the weekly. Looking historically, that is where your go-to is. So looking on, let's go to the BLX and see if we can see anything historically speaking here. Looking at the weekly. All right, let's pull it down here. What do I want to show, right? So the 200 week, as we curl up here, we need to be watching for a move with the 200 week has, for the first time in history, started to move down. But once we start to move up again, these do not just, haphazardly cross every now and again, right? And even more evidence of that, and what I wanted to show you for the end of the video, look at our 100 crossing the 200, right? We're doing that right now. On the Bitcoin chart, we're doing that right now. On the BLX, it's a little delayed, but we have just crossed today on the daily 100 crossing the 200. History has only had one fake out ever in Bitcoin, and that was during the pandemic. Right here, right? Let's go look at it. The 100, the blue line, right? When we cross the 200 after being under it, that signals the end of the bear cycle and the start of the bull market, right? You can go back all the way to Bitcoin's beginnings, right? The only time once is the pandemic, right? So minus another black swan event. Could it happen? Of course. Could Putin nuke the world tomorrow? Of course. Then, who cares, right? Who cares about money? At that point, we're worrying about survival. Okay. So going all the way back to 2015, you can go back even before this, right? When they came to fruition, when the 100 day crosses the 200, the blue crosses the pink, that's the start of the cycle, right? It doesn't mean up only, but that's the shift, right? You can make it plain and simple, right? We haven't had that, right? Since we didn't even get it here. The last time we got it was the pandemic. So, we're coming up on 3 years now, right? Almost to the day, maybe. We're looking very close to that 3 years, and we're getting it right now. The blue has crossed the pink, right? So the 100 crosses the 200. Historically, another just tool, another minor piece of evidence, if you will, that the bears are dead, the bulls are waking up, and, it's, congratulations, you've made it. All this time, if you're still here, right, a new cycle has begun. It's going to be tough, right? It's not going to be ever easy, but the trends have shifted by definition in the market, right? By the candles, by the price, by the moving averages. Do yourself a favor, and even if you're a perma bear and you think we're going to 12K or 2K or 1K, or you're in, Dan Pena's camp and it's going to zero, do yourself a favor and have an open mind and just look at the evidence I'm presenting to you. Okay. This is not something that happens like all the time, right? We got to cross down, right? And when it crosses down, it's the same thing. That confirms the bear market, right? That happened January 2022. When we cross up, bull market, right? It's even better than your stupid pansy gold cross or death cross. How about a platinum cross, self-dubbed right now? Put it on a t-shirt, copy stamps, no reversies, platinum cross. You got it. All right. Let's get to quote of the day, or car of the day. Well, let's go to the quote of the day. This is a good one. It's quite fitting for some of the comments I got about yesterday's video. The truth is strong, and sometime or other will prevail. Bull market has started, you sons of bees. All right. Car of the day. Maybe you've never seen this before. You're like, it's Ford GT, but it's a Ford GT1, ultra rare. I mean, look at the carbon, and you want more carbon. It's got goddamn carbon wheels, right? The whole damn car is carbon. GT1, never seen one in real person. Look at that. Hopefully that comes across. Saw this at a show a couple weeks ago. Concours d'Elegance. Look at the hotels in the back. You're on some, proper kook level when you got, high-rise hotels and a golf course with $1 million cars. This is the Ford Heritage. Both of these Fords are over $1 million each. So, kudos to Ford for, making a great hypercar. This has carbon wheels too. Amazing. So Ford GT car of the day, got your quote of the day, and you got your platinum cross of the day. All right. Let me know. Love it or hate it. Want more of it? Let me know in the comments. I try to read all of them. Responded to a bunch yesterday. Go read those comments from yesterday. Some good questions. Hopefully some good answers. If you're going to, say we're going one way or another, let me know why or where. or what? Show me your evidence. Don't listen to your teachers. Don't just say because. Show me some evidence, and I'm happy to, contradict you or agree with you based on the evidence. That's where I'm at. Show me your evidence, and I'll show you more evidence. All right. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much for watching this long if you have. Was I cut off half the damn video? All right. I'll see you on the next one. Thanks so much for watching. Kudos to you. Congrats on making it through the bullshittiest of bear markets.